Welcome to the third part and the last part. Now we are discussing important topic EMF and the internal resistance of a cell. In order to understand, let us draw a simple circuit in which a resistance R is connected with the battery with the help of a key. We connect a voltmeter V1 across the resistance and a voltmeter V2 across the battery in order to measure the potential differences. Now, when the key is open, current flowing through the circuit is 0. The value of V1 it will be equal to 0 because I through R is equal to 0. In this case, value of V2 will not be equal to 0, but the value of the V2 will be non-zero because it will tell us the potential difference across the terminals of the cell. We take this value, suppose with letter E, which we call as the EMF of the cell. Here E is the EMF of the cell, electromotive force of the cell. So whenever you are measuring the potential difference across the terminals of the cell, when cell is present in an open circuit, that is when it is not supplying any current in the circuit, then cell is in the open circuit. If you measure the voltage across the cell, at that time we call it as the electromotive force of the cell. But when key is closed, if you close the key such that a current begins to flow through the circuit, you will notice two changes. That when current is flowing through the circuit, I, it is going to produce a voltage across the resistance that will be equal to V1, it will be equal to IR. That means value of the voltage V1, it will be increased now from 0 to I into R. But an important change that you will note, that immediately when the circuit is closed by closing the key K, the value of the voltage across the terminals of the cell, now it will be reduced by a small amount. That means now the value of the voltmeter V2, it will be slightly smaller as compared to its value when it was present in the open circuit. In this case, when the key is closed and cell is supplying some current in the circuit, if at that stage if you measure the potential difference across the terminals of the cell, this potential difference we call it as the terminal potential difference. We call it as the terminal potential difference, which we label as capital V, and in this case V, it will be smaller than its value when it was present in the open circuit. So normally EMF of a cell is known as the open circuit voltage of the cell, and terminal potential difference is called as the closed circuit voltage of the cell, that is when the cell is present in the closed circuit. So in this case, EMF and the terminal potential difference are the two different voltages when cell is present in open or in the closed circuit. So why these voltages changes when cell is brought from open to the closed circuit? In order to do that, we have to understand the complete circuit itself. Now, if you take a look at the figure again, in the figure we can see that we have a connected external resistance R in the circuit. So when current is flowing through the circuit, current leaves from the positive terminal of the battery. By passing through the external resistance, it again arrives at the negative terminal of the battery. But we know that current always flows in a closed circuit. This means that if in the external circuit the current is flowing from positive to the negative terminal of the cell by passing through the external resistance R, then it is also flowing from the negative terminal of the cell to the positive terminal of the cell by passing through the electrolyte of the cell. So in this case, this much portion of the circuit where the current is flowing from negative to the positive terminal, we call it as the internal circuit. So there are actually two parts in a complete circuit. One is called external circuit, which is the circuit connected between the positive and the negative terminal of the cell, and that is the second part, internal circuit, which is actually the electrolyte of the cell, and the current flowing in the external and the internal circuit is same because both are present in the series with each other. Now when current flowing is same, in this case when current flows through the external circuit, that is through the external resistance capital R, what is happening, the current has experienced a resistance which arises due to the obstructed motion of the free electrons, that is due to the collisions among the free electrons. But when current reaches inside the electrolyte and it has to flow from negative terminal to the positive terminal of the battery by passing through the electrolyte, it again suffers obstructed motion. But in this case, the electrolyte of the cell actually contains no free electrons but contains positive and the negative ions, that is cations and anions. So in this case, when a current is flowing from negative to the positive terminal of the cell, ions movement is responsible for the flow of the current only in the electrolyte of the cell. But just like electrons, they suffer collision by when the current is passing from the conductor. These ions, because they are present in huge number in the electrolyte, when current is flowing through the electrolyte, they also suffer collisions among each other. So just like collisions among the free electrons in the conductor, it give rise to external resistance. A similar kind of resistance is also arriving in the internal circuit, that is in the electrolyte of the cell, due to the collision among the ions. We call that as the internal resistance of the cell. We call that resistance as the internal resistance of the cell. It is a very important feature of the cell because every cell will contain electrolyte which will contain positive and negative ions. So whenever current will be flowing, they will always be colliding with each other and they will always be producing some amount of internal resistance. So internal resistance will always be present in the cell and it will increase as the cell will be used up. So older cell will have higher resistance, internal resistance, new cell will have a lesser value of the internal resistance. This means that if internal and external circuit are present in the series, this also led to an important result that the circuit also contains two resistances. One is the external resistance capital R, which we have connected from the outside, and second is the internal resistance which is present in the electrolyte of the cell. And because same current flows through both of them, this means that both external and internal resistance are present in the series with each other. So this circuit can be drawn equivalently as in which an external resistance capital R is present in series with the internal resistance which we will label with small r with the battery. So in this case, if battery is present in an open circuit, then voltage measured, it will be called open circuit voltage. When key is open, we call it as a EMF. But as soon as the voltage is measured when key is closed and some current is flowing through the circuit, in that case voltage labeled it will be equal to V, that is terminal potential difference. Now you can understand why the voltage is decreasing, because same current is flowing through both the resistances. So in this case, for the external resistance, voltage produced across it will be equal to I into R, and voltage produced across the internal resistance according to Ohm's law, which we will label as small v, it will be equal to I into small r. Now always remember that the value of internal resistance is very small as compared to the external resistance. This means that the voltage produced across the internal resistance is also very small as compared to the voltage across the external resistance. Now in this case, because this resistance is present across the internal resistance, we call it as the voltage lost inside the cell due to its internal resistance. So if cell can generate a maximum of voltage E, in this case, because they are present in series circuit, we can write E is actually equal to sum of V and V, voltage across external and voltage across internal resistance. So when cell will be present in the closed circuit, what will be the voltage across it? It will be equal to E minus V. So this voltage that we call terminal potential difference is, you can clearly see, is obtained by subtracting some voltage from the voltage of the cell when it was present in the open circuit. So this voltage which we are subtracting from the open circuit voltage of the cell when cell is in the closed circuit, that is the voltage lost across the internal resistance, because of which whenever cell is brought from open to closed circuit, potential difference across its terminal decreases, which we call it as the terminal potential difference. Now we want to find an expression for the internal resistance of the cell. In order to do that, we have written already the equation that terminal voltage is equal to E minus V. So we can write it V is equal to E minus V. V is equal to I into R. That we can write it as IR, it will be equal to E minus V, or R will be equal to E minus V over I. If we use Ohm's law, V is equal to I into capital R, that is the voltage across an external resistance. From here, what is I? I is equal to V over R. So if we use this value over here, the value of R will be E minus V over V by R, or it will be equal to R into E minus V over V, which we can also write it as R into E over V minus 1. So this is the expression for the internal resistance of the cell. Now an important thing that we have to remember, that this internal resistance of the cell, it depends upon few factors, like it depends upon the surface area of the electrodes dipped in the electrolyte solution. Internal resistance is inversely proportional to the surface area of the electrodes dipped in the electrolyte solution. Lesser the surface area inside the solution, more will be the internal resistance. Second, it is directly proportional to the distance between the electrodes of the cell. So if the distance between the electrodes of the cell is kept large, internal resistance will also be large. Its value also depends upon the nature of the electrolyte used, its concentration, as well as the temperature of electrolyte. If the electrolyte is dilute, number of ions available inside the solution are less, internal resistance will be large. If the electrolyte is highly ionized, internal resistance will be less due to availability of greater charge carriers. If the temperature of electrolyte is increased, internal resistance will decrease. Here you have to remember, internal resistance is going to decrease, not increase. Reason, ions are having much larger mass as compared to those of free electrons. So when we increase the temperature of the electrolyte solution, actually we are increasing the kinetic energy of the ions present inside it. So when ions start moving at faster speed, then the rate of flow of charge increases, so current increases. Increase of current means decrease of the resistance, so internal resistance will be decreasing. EMF of the cell, electromotive force of the cell, it depends upon two important factors. First, the nature of the electrode used, and second, the nature of the electrolyte used. So by using and controlling these two factors, nature of electrodes and the nature of electrolyte used, we can also change the EMF of the cell. Remember, other than these two factors, no other factor is affecting the EMF value of a cell. Thank you.